Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. An international law expert warns that China may resort to swarming Philippine Navy vessels in the West Philippine Sea. In an interview with One News' The Chiefs, international studies professor Renato de Castro said that China may swarm the territory just like what happened in Scarborough Shoal in 2012. De Castro added that they can even send Beijing's huge Coast Guard vessels to intimidate Philippine vessels in the area.
The Chinese approach will be tit for tat. So China would probably announce they'll be sending 5 or 6 of their gray ships. Or probably, this is my guess, no? They'll be probably sending their huge Coast Guard vessels.
The One Hospital Command Center has been overwhelmed with calls since the second wave of COVID cases in the country. Experts also noted a certain mismatch between the available facilities and the severity of COVID-19 cases. Romel Lopez with the story.
The number of people trying to reach the government's One Hospital Command Center for COVID-19 has tripled since August 2020.
From a mere 150 to 175 calls per day, when during this time of surge, we were already receiving 380 to almost 400 plus.
But due to the challenges, the command center management admits not being able to answer all calls.
We have landlines and cell phone number, but all of those po kasi ay engaged, very engaged po and congested din po yung lines natin. And then so that some of them po ay hindi na nakakapasok dun sa hotline.
The discrepancy between the available beds and the patients who need to be confined has made it more difficult.
Dapat yung mga asymptomatic cases natin and mild cases will be transferred to a level 1 hospital or even to an isolation facility so that they can decongest their hospitals so that they can accommodate more moderate and severe cases.
Former Health Chief Esperanza Cabral also flagged leadership flaws which may contribute to another surge in cases.
Look at the case fatality rate. We have been so proud that the case fatality rate in the country is lower than the general or global case fatality rate. But now it is coming up.
So far, the One Hospital Command has provided services to 24,000 callers since last year. The command center assures the public of continuous operation as it seeks additional beds.
I have to hire more people to receive my calls and make sure that they have the proper training. Second, I need to make sure that I have more of open lines. And we are being supported naman sa PLDT.
Those who are in need of referral assistance may contact the command center using the numbers on your screen. For News 5, Romel Lopez. We are One News.
COVID-19 treatment czar Leopoldo Vega appeals to Congress to include in the proposed Bayanihan 3 law the funding for improvements in the One Hospital Command system. On One News' The Chiefs, Health Undersecretary Vega admitted that there are challenges in the government's hospital referral scheme. These include the lack of workers and equipment for better connectivity. To address this, Vega says they would have to upgrade their systems and hire more people with the help of the DOH in Congress through the Bayanihan 3.
We have to upgrade our systems. In other words, I need to have a PABX, I need to have a call forwarding, I have to make sure that I have enough lines open for me to connect to the different institutions and for the public to connect to us. And that's what we're doing right now.
A member of the Philippine Society of Hypertension says those who have blood pressure of 160/100 before vaccination should not be sent home. Speaking to 1PHS sa Totoo Lang, PSH Board of Trustees Dr. Alejandro Diaz said only recipients experiencing a hypertensive emergency or blood pressure of 180/120 should be rescheduled for vaccination. Diaz noted that those with comorbidities, including hypertension, are prioritized for inoculation, so they must be vaccinated as soon as possible.
Only ang blood pressure sobrang taas, yung tinatawag namin hypertensive emergency. Ano yun? Pagka umabot ang blood pressure ng 180/120 at kung may nararamdaman, gagamutin yan, huwag ka muna, reschedule ka. Pero kung 170/100, bibigyan lang yan ng gamot, painumin, Pahinga muna, make the measures, relax. Okay, paihiin, baka puno ang bladder, baka anxious. So all the measures gawin, huwag pauwiin, ilagay muna dyan sa holding area. At pag bumaba na ng 150, pwede na bakunahan yan.
Here are other stories from around the world. Research shows that Brazil's P1 coronavirus variant is mutating in a way that it could better evade antibodies. This means the virus mutation may have become more dangerous and resistant to vaccines. And this study was conducted by the Public Health Institute, Fiocruz. Denmark became the first country to permanently stop the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine due to its potential link to rare but serious blood clots. This move will push back the scheduled conclusion of Denmark's vaccination program from July 5 to early August. And over in the U.S., the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines remain in limbo as the U.S. Health Panel delays the vote to resume its use. The expert panel is calling for more data on the one-dose shots before making a decision, and the U.S. FDA and CDC halted the use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine due to 6 reported cases of rare blood clots in women. Instead of providing equal assistance to those in need, the flawed distribution system of cash aid in the NCR plus bubble seems to further highlight inequality among its recipients. Mobile journalist Stanley Gahete gives us a front seat to the story.
After the ayuda giving last week, we found Nancy and her family on the sidewalk of busy 18th Avenue eating scraps of food. She belongs to the poorest of the poor, yet she did not qualify for cash assistance because she had no documents to prove her poverty.
Wala daw kami ID ko, wala daw kami ID. At abulin po namin, wala rin po kami magagawa. Kasi tingin nila sa amin, ganito lang.
Arturo Mingkit owns car that he leases for his rent-a-car business. With the recent rounds of lockdowns, his livelihood was again affected. And there was Sunshine, whose husband is an ambulance driver.
Siguro deserve din naman namin na makatanggap ng ayuda. Kasama kami sa gobyerno.
Arturo and Sunshine were among the 3,982 beneficiaries in San Roque, Cubao, Quezon City who received the cash assistance last week. LGUs also have the discretion if they will also include beggars in the list. In Nancy's case, she was not.
If it's part of your jurisdiction, consider that.
According to the DILG, they have given assistance to 1.7 million beneficiaries in the NCR Plus. As of April 11, only about 8% of the funds allotted under the Social Amelioration Program has been disbursed according to the DSWD. There were beneficiaries who were long dead or in the provinces or overseas. Sadek is a PWD working abroad. While he deserves to be in the list, he still questions it.
May narinig ako kasi na maraming PWD din na wala sa list. Even my name was not, hindi siya na-spell ng tama eh.
DSW says there's a grievance committee who will handle complaints. What is important is that the assistance has already begun to roll out. But for Nancy and her kids, they have fallen through the cracks in the system yet again.
Karaos namin tong araw nito, baka bukas na naman, yun na naman iniisip namin.
Stanley Gahete, We Are One News.
More people are experiencing the so-called long COVID. Most of them only experienced mild conditions and never required hospitalization. And here's the report from Bloomberg Quick.
One of the interesting features about this illness is that if you look at it, the people who develop these long-haul symptoms are often not the individuals who are hospitalized and were sick and on a ventilator and stuff like that. These are individuals who actually, most often, they never went to the hospital. They had a relatively mild illness in the acute phase, and they recovered from it. If you were in the hospital, it means you probably mounted a very strong immune response, okay? And you recovered from the illness, you probably got rid of the virus. If you never mount a strong enough immune response, then what happens is you may have mild symptoms. You thought, oh, I escaped this. But in reality, you never got rid of the virus. So you get this chronic immune activation that persists in these individuals. But it's never good enough to get rid of it because they never got rid of it in the first place. But it's enough to start causing collateral damage. And what the virus does is it inhibits certain types of immune responses. It's a drain on society at every single level. I mean, it affects women more than men. It affects people in their average age is 40. That's the most productive years of your life. And so you can see that the impact, worldwide impact of this is unbelievable. Economic toll, the psychological toll, every aspect of society is going to touch.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.